Suboptimal Podcast. Check out our suboptimal content at suboptimal.co.
Hey guys, this is episode 6 of the NighCast. We're going to be talking about decision paralysis. I got Rednolas and Dominator051 here. They're both awesome guys over on Mixer, and I hope you had a chance to check them out at some point. If you have not, I don't know what you're doing with your lives. But, Red, do you want to start us off with your mornings of decision paralysis?
Awesome, yeah. So, I'm a substitute teacher. That's just my day job. That's just how things... That's how I pay things that let me stream video games. And if you don't know how substitute teaching works, basically you have a virtual job board. Like they sometimes call you if they need you, or like friends, or if you know somebody can schedule you in advance. Like that's a thing that can happen. But most of the time, probably like 80% of the jobs that I get, there's just a virtual job board that's posted on whatever website your district chooses to host. And you like scroll through and people will post like, I need full day sub XYZ grade from this time to this time at this site. Do you want to do that? And you hit either accept or deny. And then, so there's this balance between, all right, well, do I accept this job that I kind of don't want to do? Like say, I really don't feel like teaching, high school science today. Or like, I really do want to teach, because for me, it's English or elementary school, because that's what I want to do. Like those jobs are easy and I snap pick those up. But then when those aren't there, it's like, do I really want to teach half day special ed today? Do I really is it worth it? Like, and I feel bad about it because obviously I have to work, but it's this weird, every day waking up all right, well, what am I doing today? Which one of these is my day?
Yeah. Well, it's also because doing what you do, it's for my field, doing IT, that's independent contracting. You're trying to figure out what you're going to do today. Are you going to go out and do this job, or are you going to take on this specific role? Are you going to do sysadmin work today? Are you going to do a programming job today? What are you going to do? And where's your passion in that? Is your passion for the smalls? Are you doing the 4th grade stuff? That's where your push is. That's from our previous talks. I know that's where you want to do the smalls.
Yeah, I switched from high school English to the smalls because 4th, 5th grade is awesome, and then they did more males.
Yeah. And then it's do I really want to go teach a bunch of high schoolers today that are just going to give me shit all day about Fortnite? Or do I want to go talk to the smalls and they're going to just do Fortnite dances, but they're going to be a lot more cooler about it?
Yeah. That is unfortunately the god. Yeah.
I got a kindergartner. I've been in a lot of elementary schools recently because of this. And holy hell, every single kid knows the dances. I did not realize this.
Oh yeah. Just everybody. It's just... regardless of who or what.
Yeah. And Dom, I know that you had an Instagram post this last week and you were talking about your decision paralysis, being tired, coming home from work, having long commutes. And I was doing that during this last couple of years of my life too. I was commuting 72 plus miles each direction every day. And when I was doing that, I was having the same thing. I was super beat up and tired when I got home, and I did not want to do a single freaking thing when I got home, let alone hit a stream button, hit anything. And so I wanted you to if you could kind of recap your Instagram post and also talk about your process too.
Yeah. So I am currently living with my parents, and they live almost exactly 72 miles away from my job in near downtown LA. And I have to get up at 3 a.m. every single day just to beat traffic, because if I don't get on the road by 3:30, even from where I live, it's a no-go. For example, my wife and I left at 4:30 once from the house, and we didn't get to my work till 6:30 a.m. So 2 hours. So that's why I have to get up so early just to beat the traffic. And I'm on the road total of 3 hours every day, work my 9-hour shift. So I'm gone for about 12 hours. And although you're just sitting there and in traffic or on the road, it is mentally draining. So when I get home, I want to, be the best husband I can be. Still kind of newly married, and I just feel so drained. And there's all these different errands and chores I have to do. And then, like you said, it's okay, it's time to play a game and be entertaining at the same time and engaging and talk. I was so tired. I couldn't do it. As much as I wanted to, my motivation is, to play games, to be entertaining, to do all those things. I just couldn't. And it was killing me inside because of how badly I want to do this. So that's kind of like a recap of like the weekend, especially that day. Like I was really feeling it that day, and just looking at my my game list, and dude, I just can't.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, no, I've had the same thing. Like this week, I have been so indecisive. Like for the longest time, like Destiny's been like the game to play for me. That's what I've been playing since 2014,
yeah.
and I've been at this crossroads with my like what I want to play games with, and it's like I don't really want to play Destiny right now. I want to play some of the new stuff that's coming out. But you know what? It's not out yet. Like this week, I was Thursday. I really wanted to play Anthem, but then we finally got the dev notice, and it's like, oh, that's gonna be Friday. Well, crap, that's past when I actually stream in the weeks. So I'll try that on Sunday. But so I'm like, what am I gonna play? And I'm sitting here, I'm staring at the directories, I'm staring at what other people are playing, and I'm like, everyone's playing Apex. And I'm like, solid game, really good run and gun, just not really my thing. Like I'm not gonna grind that for 4 or 5 hours. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, yeah, it's fun, but I don't want to hop on the same bandwagon everyone else is, because I know I'm going to get directory buried. I'm not a partner streamer. I'm not somebody that's going to go and get channel 1 or channel 1 plus. I'm not going to get any hosting that's going to bring me up in that directory. So it's like, man, what am I going to do? And that's kind of like where I want to talk to you guys about like your processes, not just streaming, but in life. Like, how do you get past your decision paralysis? And like, even with my life, like I get home and I'm like, God, I don't want to make dinner tonight. Should I just order pizza? I don't know. And then I'll sit there and I won't do anything for like 40 minutes and like, oh crap. Yeah, I guess we're going to have chili dogs tonight because I got hot dogs and chili in the fridge, and I'm just going to heat those up now. But Dom, do you want to talk about like your process so that you use to get through the paralysis, and like how did you like just finally like mentally prepare yourself, or how did you get through it and just move into doing something?
Yeah, so I totally relate with what you just said. I just want to say that because like as much as like yesterday, for example, I played Anthem, so much fun, buried, and that definitely play like you just got directly buried. So and that's plays a role. So that was also on my mind when I'm feeling tired. Is like, okay, I got to play a game that I'm not going to get buried in, because if the focus is on growth, so it was just all those different things. And this week in particular, to answer your question, I didn't get through like that indecision. I didn't get through the decision paralysis, and I kind of like succumbed to that. And that's what I like posted on my Instagram. That was the whole video, is like, I'm just tired and I can't do it today. So which was new for me. Like, well, I think normally I can get through it.
Yeah, and I think that's good though. Like being able to admit, just today is just not going to be a day. I'm going to take a mental day. I'm going to take it to myself, and I think that works for not just doing that as a streamer, but like sometimes you need to do that from work. You need a mental day from work. Sometimes you need a mental day from taking that commute. Someday you need that mental day from just dealing with everything in your life, because just you need to step back and reflect and take that time to refresh yourself, so you have a new perspective on it and you're able to be yourself again.
But what I normally do is I go back to my why. Whenever I go back to the basics, go back to my why. Like, why am I doing? Why am I motivated to, stream, play video games, be entertaining? I always have to go back to that, and that's what helps me push through, is just remembering why I even did this in the first place. So to answer your question specifically, like that's what I have to go through, and just go through that thinking process and that mental exercise, because that's what it is, because it takes a motivation to get through those harder times.
Yeah. How about you, Red? Like, what's your process? How do you try to bypass your stuff? Do you just ramrod it and go full tilt, or how do you do it?
So before that, also relate, as a partner and streamer who can get channel 1 plus hosted by friends who are slightly larger than myself and front page slots, I still get directory buried in Apex. I just play it because it's fun, but that's a thing. You can get directory buried after you're partnered. It happens.
What? Mind blown.
Which is fine. Like, I knew that was going to happen. I wasn't like ignorant to that, but
yeah.
It definitely like happens.
Well, yeah. I mean, as an example of this, I mean, you're a partner streamer. you're a fairly newer partner streamer, but at the same time, that's a game that you like. That's a game type that you like. So there's the reason you play it is because you love that game. It's not like you're going to be top of directory on it. You're not trying to force that. I mean, yes, conquer the world and go for it, but that's your game.
I'm the best Apex player anyway, so they'll find me eventually.
Red did carry me through my first couple games of Apex, so I do admit that I got my learned on from Red.
Yeah, but it's like the decision, and it's like so much just outside of like, well, for me, and it's weird. I live in a very weird spot in life at the moment. So like, I'm still at home. I'm going to grad school. I work and I stream video games to the internet.
Okay, so
none of these things are super consistent.
Let's cover these again. So you're a substitute teacher, which is your full-time job.
Yeah, at least 4 days a week.
On top of that, you're in grad school, which is like full-time school.
Yes.
And you stream how many hours a week?
More than I should.
I'm thinking I've seen you online close to 40, if not more.
At least 40, probably closer to 50.
So in reality, you have 3 full-time jobs.
Yeah, just about.
Just putting this in perspective here. So I got a family. That's one of my full-time jobs. I work and then I stream. So I got 3 full-time jobs. Dom, freaking his commute is basically a full-time job on top of his full-time job, and he's married. So he's got 3 full-time jobs basically. And then Red somehow manages to pull off school, streaming, and a full-time job. So
what's up? You can use Command Coffee in chat for King's Ghost. Not in mine, but
Rofish. Anyway.
So yeah, basically when I wake up and I don't have a job, I have a couple options. So, and this is kind of what I go through with myself is, does what I do on stream today or what I do in another realm today approximately equal the monetary value that I would make if I went to work? Because as a substitute teacher, I don't make, based on hours I'm there, I make either a half day or a full day. Mm-hmm. And that changes depending on what district I'm in, because I work in 3 different districts. So I either make 110 to 155 a day, depending on where I am, what I'm doing, et cetera, et cetera.
And this is where we point out that teachers, specifically in California, do not get paid enough.
Yes.
True. Oh my God, true.
Yes. So, because you figure I have to do work at some point. Like I can't just not do work for a whole week. I have to at least do a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just to pay. Parents are lovely enough to not charge me rent. So I have phone bill and I have grad school. As long as I equate those 2 things every month, I can do whatever I want. Sometimes those happen, sometimes those don't. It depends on work and etc. So I have to kind of logic myself with this decision of, okay, so if I don't go to work, what am I going to do? And so I plan the day, and that's usually when I do long streams and then some business stuff and then homework. And then I read like, does that approximately equal to me what about a day would be? And if I'm like, you know what, today, like, I don't really have a game I feel like streaming super much. Like we're in a lull right now. I don't have a ton of homework, so I don't feel pressure there. I'm just going to go find anything. And then I go find any random job. I go sit in the high school and, just watch like 17-year-old kids be dumb, and it's all good. And then some days I'm like, okay, so obviously that metric changes. Like, let's just say it's a release day.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, okay, so my theoretical value of staying home and doing stream stuff is slightly higher than going to work on a normal day. Therefore, I'm staying home.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean like, oh, I expect to make $110 on stream today. That just means like the value of staying home and doing this to me is greater than that monetary value.
Yep.
And sometimes that makes explaining that and paying bills a little difficult, but sometimes
the whole bill thing. Yeah. Bills are a pain in the butt for adults, I gotta say.
Yeah. And, I pay for my own grad school. I pay my own way there, so it's very like my budget is really tight.
Oof. Yeah, school is not. Here's the thing: school in the U.S. not really a thing that is affordable to many people.
Not at all.
No. This leads into many other conversations about
I know. I was
schooling
like, I was
and
just thinking about
education.
that.
I'm like, do I really want to go into this conversation right now? I got some views on it.
Like, oh no.
So I don't know, but for myself, when I'm having that decision of like what to stream specifically, as like I sit here and I go and look like the people I follow, like Red and Dom, and what are those guys playing? Are they playing anything that I'm interested in playing? And then I start going in through like the directories of games that I like to play as well, and I'm like, what are the directories doing? And I sit there, and this is what I did this week, is like I sat there for 15 minutes into my stream, not streaming, having this decision paralysis of what to do, because I didn't know what to do when I came in that night, because I was like, crap, it's Monday, I should do something. I want to stream, but it's like I don't know what to do. And that's where I get that indecision for me, is like I know I have the drive and I don't want to do it, but I'm like I have no direction, like no one to talk to immediately of like what direction I should do. Like I could go talk to my wife, but she doesn't care. She's like, you should play Diablo with me, and I'm like, that'd be fun, but I'm kind of burnt out on Diablo and I want to play something different right now. So it's like I picked up Division. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go do shield grind, and I had so much fun doing shield grind. I was like, this was the right decision, luckily, at that time. And then for work and for life and other things like that, what I try not to do is, if I am in decision paralysis mode, if I go lay down, like I lay down on my couch downstairs in my office, just right behind me, or I go upstairs to the bed or something like that, that's when I know that that's a bad decision, because that's me giving up on my decision at that point. And what I'll do is I'll just pick up my phone and I'll start flipping through my phone. I'll start flipping through social media or TikTok or something dumb that'll just be wasting time. As my daughter calls TikTok the silly videos app. So I'll just start doing something like that, and then like time will just pass. And I know if I do that and I give up, that's just a bad decision. I need to put myself in front of my PC, or I need to put myself in front of some type of analytical platform where I can just look at something that will get my mind in a direction of this a decision direction. Like seeing things that are analytical help me drive decisions for some reason, and I don't know why. Like seeing numbers or seeing my own numbers or seeing someone else's numbers, that's always what helps me like push forward. Like, okay, I'm motivated to improve this. I need to improve something, and therefore I will get through my decision. That's kind of like how I work. And I don't know if that is really a good mental way to do it. Probably not. But that's just how I get through mine. So Dom or Red, do you guys have a related topic or anything you want to talk about? Or do you have any follow-up thoughts or like feedback to any of us? Like Red, do you have feedback to me or Dom on on these processes?
I'm also very guilty of not wanting to make my own decisions. I'm actually very infamous among my IRL friends for, hey, Red, what do you want to do today? I don't know. You tell me, and I'll show up, because I don't have any kind of ability to be like, today I feel like doing X, Y, or Z. I'm like, it's just not happening. So just you tell me, I'll show up. It'll be great, and then I don't have to deal with it.
Oh shit! This is bad. Because that's exactly me too. Because I'm like, I'll rather defer to the group and just have fun with you guys. I don't really care what it is. I'm just here to kind of hang out and we'll do whatever.
Exactly. Like I'm gonna have fun no matter what we're doing, unless we're watching Hereditary again. But it's a different story.
Oh boy.
How
about you, Dom?
Everything else is great.
For me, it's hard because when I start getting in that mode, I think a lot of decisions run to just like family, and a lot of the paralysis can come from that, like just being there with my wife and making sure she feels comforted, she feels like we're on a good page, making sure that we are on a good page before I even, because she's the most important relationship I have in my life. So before I go and dive into this streaming relationship, because that's what it kind of is. Like that's how I have to mentally think about it, is almost relationships. Make sure the most important one is good before I can make a decision to go jump in and play the game and stream, and make sure that's on make sure that's on a good point, because I know for me, like, it's harder to make the decision what to play or even start the stream if I know that me and her are on a good page. So I also have to take that into consideration every single time I go live. And I'm sure you can relate to me on that level too, Drake.
Yeah, I mean, I have that not just with my wife, but also with my kid. Like, this is why I don't stream until after 8 p.m. Pacific time, because that's when my kid goes to bed. Like, I get her in bed between 7:45 and 8 p.m. So in that 15-minute window, she gets into bed, and then I can do my day. Like, I have to make sure she's settled away and good for the night before I can do anything that's streamer related at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then same goes for the wife, and that's why I also take multiple nights off a week. I take the Friday and Saturday nights off because that's our nights for me and my wife to do our date night. We go do our Hulu and our Netflix, and we hang out and we talk and we do our thing. Sometimes we will play video games too, but we'll go play Diablo or something offline. But it's one of those things where that's our night where we'll go do something together. And so, yeah, totally have to have that prepared and set up. All right, guys. Do you have... Red, I know you got all kinds of stuff there in your brain. You're always going through. I know. So Red also is running Suboptimal Gaming, and if you guys don't know about Suboptimal Gaming, it's not just a stream team. There's the website, the podcast series, which this is one of the podcasts of the Suboptimal podcast. We also have 2.5 Weebs and the Rednolas, which he'll be recording probably later today. And
soft 2:30.
Slightly flaccid 2:30, but and there goes my teen rating on this podcast at this point. Shit.
You tried.
I tried. It made it to episode 6. Oh well. But so how about with your business side? With the business side, how do you work through the decisions, and anytime you get a paralysis around the decisions of the business, Red?
If I don't make a decision, nobody else will. Therefore, I have to make some kind of decision, even if it's not necessarily the best one at that particular moment.
And how do you feel about that role? Like, how do you feel like you're now in that type of role?
Simultaneously super happy and terrified. Super happy because this is the plan that we've cooked up, I don't know, 2 years ago when we started, or well, 2.5 years ago at this point, when we were streaming on Twitch, of like, here's kind of what we want to do, like, if that ever works out. And then we switched to Mixer, and slowly over time we've realized, oh, this is happening. Oh no. Oh dear.
It's really become a reality in the last couple days too. Like, yeah,
the last couple days, especially with a couple things going on and getting a lot of cool support and awesome stuff, has been super great, and I'm super excited about it. But it also means, like, all right, cool. Well, now we're also under the gun of, like, we've said XYZ is going to happen, therefore let's do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Like, IO community events and stuff, and we're cooking up the Google Forms and the good stuff necessary behind those events that we want to set up soon.
So, and that comes down to like a whole nother job at this point too. So I mean, you had the streaming, the school, and then teaching, and now you also are basically building it. You're now a community manager, and you're building this community out that's taking off, and you're having to just kind of, you know, own it now. You're going full tilt.
I would suggest intravenous coffee is a
the new solution.
Very good. Yeah, it's a very good solution. Saying you're going to be somewhere at 9 and then accidentally falling asleep is another good way to squeeze in like 20 extra minutes.
Hey, I wasn't going to bring that up until later. I'll put that on the Twitter post about like why we're late today. But this is also
entirely my fault.
This is also why I don't do this live yet. Like I'm not mentally prepared to do this live, and this is why I do this offline in a record method, because it's like shit comes up, life comes up, and this is like trying to fit that in when you have life that's happening. It's just like it does not help the decision. Like, oh crap, I gotta do this, but now I got life in the way, and life is going to take this over. So I'm going to. Yeah, life just kind of rules the world, right?
Yep, it does. So, like, usually on a Saturday, I'd be streaming at like 11 a.m. It is 9:46. I have a bunch of stuff to do until 12. I have something to do at 12, and then I'll be around about 2:30. Hopefully.
Hopefully
Soft 2:30.
Very soft.
Soft 2:30 for my podcast that doesn't even have guests scheduled yet, but by the time that my podcast gets recorded, they'll have guests, so they won't even know.
Yeah, I see. And here I am, like, hey, do you want to get up in the morning? Crap, I'm gonna have coffee too, because now I'm just here sipping my King's Coast. Now, this is one thing, like, I've noticed, like, I have no affiliation with them other than I buy their coffee, but I'm like, I'm wearing the King Coast sweater. I had the King Coast coffee mug. I have King's Coast in the coffee mug. I'm like, shit, I might buy too much stuff from them. Cult. I'm totally absorbed into this cult of coffee because I need help making my decisions in the morning, and if I literally cannot do it without coffee.
Next up, your daughter's gonna do something, and you're just gonna say whammy.
Oh my god, no! Please no! Oh, I don't need that. I don't need to be goth. Me and him are about the same height. I don't need that though.
Full whammy. Anyway. But yeah, like nothing gets done really. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean like nothing would get done, just everything would crumble. But like a lot of the big things and a couple of the small things like wouldn't happen if I don't go out and do it myself or go out and ask somebody the question of, hey, how do I do this? Because I have absolutely no idea how to do a website. Help, please. Oh my God.
And see, and for me, it's like, I would love to help, but I don't want to step in on somebody else's dream, and I don't want to manipulate their dream into my own. And so I want to help them, and I want to help them along the way. So it's like I wait for people to talk to me about like what their needs are, what they're looking for. And so right now we're kind of talking around of I'm helping Red with the website of the Suboptimal. So here's the context of what we're now talking around each other.
It was a perfect example.
We're poking each other about what we're doing, and I do owe finishing up that website at this point.
Yeah,
too.
No, it's totally fine. Like I get life and stuff happens and et cetera, and we're not on necessarily like a timetable for it. So it's just like a lot of the things that like if we need to get done, like a lot of them I don't know how to do. I didn't go to school for IT or graphic design, so when it comes to that, I am completely inept. Therefore, I have to go and ask somebody.
Here's a fun thing: I'm a business major, and I never finished my associate's degree, so I just have a bunch of debt, and I have no degree to show for it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, there's my 2 cents on education. So. But no, I mean, like, I think that having that person that has the view and has that driving decision factor like is a good thing, but also I think that having people to bounce ideas off to is like, for me at least, necessary, because I like having that sounding board of peers where I can go to and like I can talk to Dom, or I could talk to Red, or I could talk to Comfy or Copper, or any of these people that have a specific expertise or a different point of view that like maybe I'm not seeing it that same way, and it's like I can talk to them and say, hey, here's my thought, I'm going to try this, am I dumb?
Yes.
See, at least I know I'm going to get a good feedback like that. It's very fulfilling, very informational. Just the yes is great.
7.
This is the Common Core grading for you folks out there that are not in the US right there.
Oh God, please no.
Oh Lord.
Not today. No. It's not that bad, but it's still
it's actually really nice when you learn how it works. It's actually I'm starting to get used to it now, and it's actually, it makes a lot of sense of what they're doing. So,
but when it comes to multiplication, I can't. We just do it the normal way. Anyway.
So how about you, Dom? Like, when you're doing something outside the stream or anything, do you run your decisions? I mean, I'm assuming you run your decisions off your wife or off somebody that's close to you that you're like, shit, I got to do something. And I'm totally like paralyzed right now. Do you have that sounding board, or do you have somebody you turn to for that sounding board?
I don't at the moment, because I'm going through a lot of like changes in life. Like,
Red, we're right here for you.
I'm about to move to Germany, so like I'm about to lose a lot of those people that I used to have. I used to see people weekly, but not so much anymore. And I think that, it's funny with streaming, it's the most indecision I ever have in my life. My wife and I were just talking about this, how usually in my life, if I know what I want or I know what to do, I know how to make a plan and I know how to execute. But sometimes with this streaming game, I'm all over the place, and it's hard for me to make a decision left, right, or should I play this? Like even just the game, like we were talking about earlier with games. Should I play this game? Should I play that game? I noticed with the content creation side of things, I'm way more indecisive compared to outside of that realm. And I think that's something I need to be more reflective on and figure out why. So I don't really have a full answer other than like, it's weird how this is the only realm that I feel so indecisive in.
I mean, for me, I guess I'm naturally indecisive. That's part of the thing I'm trying to learn how to be better on. Because I've always been this way. Like even if I trace it back to like being in school, and I mean like being in high school, middle school, like should I play Counter-Strike tonight, or should I play this, or should I do homework, or should I watch TV? Should I hang out with my friends? And then what I would end up doing is I would end up sitting on the couch watching like cable channels, looking for free music videos, and just sit there and watch music videos, and that's all I would do. Like I would go find, Collective Soul on satellite, and they would be sitting there playing their Unplugged special or something like that, where I'm just sitting there and just doing absolutely nothing worthwhile. And it's something that I've learned that I have to change what I do. And that's, again, it goes back to, for me, I know I give up when I lay down, and that's where it was. I'd lay down on the couch and I'd be watching Collective Soul on cable TV, and I've given up. And that's the thing that for myself, I had to learn what my bad sign is, so that way I know not to do that.
Dude, for me, when I lay down, I fall asleep. So when I get like when I get home, like even if it's like 5 p.m., 6 p.m., I'm just getting home, I just knock it. And granted, that's probably because of the commute and all that. Yeah, but I have to be very careful. I have to make a decision at like how I sit up, because it could affect other decisions. Even in the streaming game.
Mm-hmm. Like one of the things I noticed about Red, and I'm going to point this out and use Red as an example, is like when I see Red leaning back in his chair and he starts to slouch, I know Red's not happy with the game he's playing. When I see Red sitting up and leaning into the screen, like you see full Red face in the screen, like he's leaning forward, he is into it and having fun, because his smile is literally ear to ear and he is leaning towards that game. And that's when like you could physically see the decision that's made about that game right there.
That's a really interesting observation.
Yeah.
I do not have time to mask my emotions. If I am upset, I'm going to tell you I'm upset.
The lowest I've ever seen Red slouch in his chair is I've only seen the top of his hair.
Oh, no.
It was full slouch mode.
It was one time.
It was one time in a Destiny 2 raid.
Spire of Stars, man.
First Destiny raid with Red. My first ever Destiny raid with Red. And I'm like, oh God, speaking decisions, this was a bad decision with this group right now. Because I could see right now anger, like emanating, like anger aura, like totally anime anger aura coming out the top of Red's head.
Given that's the only part of my body you could see.
Yeah, that was it. You can't see anything else. All I know is everybody's drinking whiskey and everybody's getting frustrated about this stupid raid. And then I look up at the feeds and all I see is the top of Red's head. I don't even see his forehead anymore. It's just hair in a chair on screen.
Albeit it wasn't your fault.
Oh, it was. I was horrible in that raid.
I mean, everybody was terrible in that raid. God, we were all drinking, but
yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh God, yeah. I've never, and the fun thing is, like, I went back. I've done Spire Stars once since then. I beat it. I've never gone back to it.
That is the raid I have done the least.
Yeah, I've never done the new raid.
Put my finger on why I don't like it. I just.
And I've never finished the new one. I've never done it.
Scourge?
Yeah, never finished it.
I haven't done either of them.
Trust me, skip Spire. It's a pain in the butt.
We'll fix. We don't have to do Spire, but we'll do the other ones.
All right, guys. Do you have anything else for this topic today?
I try to remove a lot of idle time.
Okay.
So, generally speaking, what helps me with decisions is instead of, I should probably take my own advice more often. A lot of the time, what I do is I wake up and I'm like, the crap am I doing today? and then I just kind of pick something and run with it until something else presents itself, and then I just go over there. Sometimes, and these are the more productive days, usually when I'm like balancing work and stream and have homework, is I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this for X time. Doesn't matter what I'm doing, just for X time. And then the next thing for X time, and the next thing for X time.
So actually just planning out the day and organizing your time into chunks so that way you have a designated time to do your task.
Yeah. And not necessarily like specifically, I'm going to be playing X game for X and X and then swap, but I am doing stream related things from now until now.
Yeah, I'm going to hit the stream button. I'm going to go. We're going to pick up whatever I put in front of my face at that time, but we are going to do a stream here. We're going to do homework here. We're going to do life chores here. And just have those chunks of times designated. That's a good way to just have everything kind of designated in its own time window. So that way, when you're looking at what you're doing next, you're just looking one step ahead. You already know that these chunks of times are already planned out, and so you just have to look at what the next chunk of time is. Like my next chunk of time is I'm going to hit a stream. My next chunk of time is I'm going to go do chores for the house. My next chunk of time is homework, and so on. That's a great way. I like that.
You know, it's funny that you brought up reducing idle time. I've stopped watching Netflix, Hulu, and I don't really like consume a lot of content. The only content I really consume is my friends on Mixer. Everything else is kind of, doing the chores, doing the daily stuff. But when it comes to stream stuff, it's working on that stuff and instead of taking the time to watch an hour of Netflix, I take the time to watch my friends on Mixer or make a video or do whatever I got to do on that end. And that's actually helped me out a lot, especially making decisions, is just cutting out that, like Red said, the idle time and making it more productive time.
So yeah, narrowing your focus so that way you're continuing to progress in what you want to accomplish, basically.
Mm-hmm. Because if you narrow your focus, you're making less decisions. Do I want to watch Netflix? Do I want to go do this? No, it's I want to be with my wife. I want to work on my content. I want to make friends. I want to build my friendships even more. Like it just, like you said, narrowing your focus makes you have less decisions to make, which makes it easier to make a decision.
Mm-hmm. It can. Yeah. And like the only time I watch Hulu or Netflix or anything like that is like when I have a designated time, like my daughter wants to watch a show. Me and her will sit down and watch that show. My wife and me have our date nights where we go watch a show that night during that specific window. So again, having that chunk of window time where we go and we focus on each other, or we go focus on what we want to watch, we do that in that time window, and it's very narrowed. We don't do anything else. It's like, are we going to play Diablo together? Or are we going to go watch our shows on Netflix? Are we going to go watch the Orville, or we're going to go watch one of those? And we go do that. We don't. It's not expanded outside into multiple decisions, and I guess that's something I need to probably look at bringing into my own streaming decisions, because it sounds like it's working for you guys, and I am using it in other parts of my life, but I didn't think about how I was using that now. This is great. You guys have opened my eyes. I'm using these decisions in other parts of my life, and I'm not using them where I think I can actually really be helpful and use them. Interesting. Well, shit. Well, I guess this episode's helping me out quite a bit. I don't know if it's helping you guys out, but it's like, oh crap, I better work on some of these things, huh?
All right. A lot of habit building.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
Yep. It's the same with exercise. I need to do that too, which is also habit building, which freaking Ladman's killing, by the way, if you guys aren't watching his Instagram videos.
Oh, dude, it's awesome.
That man's capacity to time management is beyond what I could ever hope to accomplish in my entire life.
Holy hell. I need that's an episode. That's a good episode right there. How to manage your time with Ladman. I need to get that in the books now. Damn it.
I don't know what he's doing, but it is way beyond what I could do.
No, it's incredible. Like full-time job, full-time family, being a coach for his kids' soccer team, being this and that, volunteer outside of, the house. And then now he's got the full-time exercise thing going on, and he's like pouring off the weight. It's great.
It's at least an hour to manicure the chops. So like, I don't know where he fits that in.
I know.
But that's at least an hour.
My beard, I haven't done anything with this beard in a long time. Like it's all curlied up and everything. I don't know. Oh crap. Oh man. All right. There's my next episode where I got to get that scheduled and talk to him now. Great. That's going to be a good topic.
You're welcome.
See, here's the other thing I get. Whenever I talk to Red, I end up with homework. This is how you know he's a teacher.
Yeah, you do get a lot of homework.
All right, guys.
It's your own fault.
It is true. I also like accept it and say, damn it, I want to do this because I want to help out. That's my nature of things is like I want to be that helper. I want to help out. I like doing behind the scenes stuff. And so like for me doing the streaming and like being on camera is a completely new aspect of that. Like something I've never done before. I've always, hey, do you need that runner? Do you need that person to go do this? I'll go take care of that. I'll be the security guard in the background. I've always done stuff like that. I've been a sheriff's deputy. I'm not the person that's in the front. I'm the person that's like behind the scenes doing stuff. And so this is the unique part for me is like doing the lead, the front of house type work is not something that I'm used to. And so it's where it's like I'm trying to learn and grow myself, I guess, by doing that. So, Dom, do you want to tell people where to find you, and we'll wrap the episode up?
Yeah, first, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, man. You also got a beautiful voice, so I mean, I'm partial to bearded, beautiful voiced men. So I fill this episode with wonderful voiced bearded men.
Thank you so much. Well, you guys can find me at mixer.com/Dominator051, and I'm Dominator051 everywhere. So, yeah.
And then Red.
And
that sums up Red. Thank you guys.
I'm so sorry. I made space on my C drive for Anthem, and I was really excited about it.
I'm also doing that process.
You can find me at mixer.com/Rednolas and Rednolas at basically every avenue for which you could potentially find me doing anything relevant. And if I'm not, if you search Rednolas on that platform and I am not there, I am not there.
And I would recommend if anyone listening here is get on Instagram, follow at least on Instagram and follow both Red and Dominator. They both put out amazing content. Red with his Superman curls and Dominator with his inspirational videos. I love both of them. These guys are great, and I would highly recommend you guys slip in a follow on whatever platform you're on. Until next time, I have no idea what I'll be talking about, but I'll see you then. Later.